There is a saying which goes, "Practice what you preach." But what happens when the preacher strays from their own sermons? As our story unfolds, a stunning revelation comes to light. A YouTube channel like no other named H3H3 Productions, helmed by the dynamic duo Ethan Edward Klein and Hila Klein.
It's just me, Ethan, and my wife, Hila.
Today I'm going to reveal why their channel would face a downfall after getting so much popularity. The main channel H3H3 Productions had millions of subscribers, and after that, in 2016, Ethan announced H3H3 Podcast, which is the side channel of H3H3 Productions. In this podcast, he called famous and popular YouTubers and roasted them and said negative words, which ultimately led to his downfall. Let's take a look at what he said and the gradual demise of his H3H3 Productions. It all began on that fateful day, September 13, 2017, during an episode of the H3 podcast. Ethan and his wife Hila broached the topic of the controversy surrounding PewDiePie, who had uttered a racial slur during a live stream. In a display of candor, Ethan and Hila openly criticized PewDiePie's actions, stating that they could not defend him. Little did Ethan know that his stance would set off a chain reaction, leading to his own undoing. Backlash swiftly descended upon him from fans and the YouTube community alike. Accusations of backstabbing and hypocrisy echoed through the digital landscape, as people pointed out Ethan's own past transgressions, including a racial remark made on his podcast with iDubbbz. As the storm of criticism intensified, two notable YouTube news hosts, Keemstar and Scarce, seized the opportunity to dissect the controversy on their own channels. They labeled Ethan a hypocrite, fanning the flames of public scrutiny and further tarnishing his reputation. Days later, on September 17, 2017, Ethan sought to address the mounting criticism during another episode of the podcast. However, fueled by alcohol and his own frustration, he unleashed a drunken rant. Keemstar and Scarce found themselves on the receiving end of Ethan's ire, despite neither having directly accused him of hypocrisy. The drunken outburst escalated tensions and ignited a bitter feud between Ethan and Keemstar. Despite the success and popularity of H3H3 Productions, the channel faced significant backlash from fans and smaller YouTubers in 2018. Many criticized Ethan and the podcast for being too political, spreading misinformation, and backstabbing friends. The controversy culminated in an hour-long video by Gokanaru titled "The Death of H3H3 Productions Video Vigilante," which heavily criticized Ethan for his negative attitude, unfunny jokes, superiority complex, and bullying of smaller YouTubers. The video caused Ethan to lose a significant number of subscribers and turned his subreddit against him. Ethan responded to the criticisms in a podcast episode on November 16, 2018, admitting to the truth of several accusations and explaining how they contributed to his depression. However, the video was later deleted by YouTube in 2019 due to allegations of harassment. Despite the controversy, Ethan continued to create content and addressed the vigilante video on May 30, 2020. However, he was also accused of having the video removed due to his ties with YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki. The criticism and backlash proved to be a significant challenge for H3H3 Productions, resulting in a decline in popularity and subscribers. One such incident occurred in May 2019 when he posted a video titled "Instagram vs. Reality" on his channel, in which he criticized influencers for using Photoshop and Facetune to enhance their appearance. While some viewers found the video funny, others criticized Klein for his comments on Trisha Paytas and Tana Montague, accusing him of body shaming and making harmful jokes. The situation escalated when Paytas claimed Klein's video was dangerous for young women and could cause them harm. Klein defended himself by stating that it was just comedy, but the criticism continued. Despite this, Klein invited Trisha onto his podcast twice and even co-hosted a show called Frenemies with her in December 2020. However, the show was plagued by drama, and Trisha ultimately stepped down, accusing Klein of being greedy and bullying her. To make matters worse, Ethan's mother made a controversial comment directed towards Trisha, saying that if Hila miscarried, she would hold Trisha and her husband accountable. This caused further backlash towards Ethan and his family. The controversy surrounding Klein's comments and behavior has led to a decline in his popularity and reputation within the YouTube community. One such pivotal event occurred on September 17, 2020, when Ethan accused James Charles, a prominent figure in the beauty community, of stealing Hila's designs for their beloved brand, Teddy Fresh. A public call-out ensued, with James Charles inviting Ethan to resolve the matter privately through direct messages. Yet, the aftermath proved explosive. On September 19, 2020, Ethan made the controversial decision to leak their private conversations, claiming that James had admitted to stealing the design. However, scrutinizing eyes noticed that James hadn't made any such admission, causing a storm of criticism to descend upon Ethan for blowing the drama out of proportion and violating the sanctity of private conversations. But this was not the sole misstep that played a part in Ethan's downfall. Fast forward to 2022, a new controversy emerged when James Charles was caught buying diapers in one of his videos. Ever the reactive commentator, Ethan took to his podcast to share his thoughts, going as far as to claim that James had a leaking butthole due to excessive anal sex. The audacious statement was met with immediate backlash, especially when a gay fan confronted Ethan for his insensitive remark. Accusing the fan of being a power bottom only added fuel to the fire, further alienating Ethan from his once loyal fan base. Like this, his encounter with Keemstar, Mr. BTFO, his words to the Catholic Church, where he claimed that the Catholic Church does nothing but molest little boys. He was criticized by many of his Catholic fans. Even Sneeko, Augie RFC, and Abba and Preach also criticized Ethan for lying in the podcast where a 19-year-old girl called. All this was the noticeable impact for his channel to demise. The Klein's podcast was a turning point that ignited a hunger within them. Instead of settling for the status quo and allowing their endeavors to unfold naturally, they yearned for a taste of something grander. Their aspirations extended beyond mere association with fellow YouTubers or notable figures like Ken Bone and Humongous. The Kleins threw all their hopes into this podcasting venture, investing considerable time and effort, while their primary channel gathered a thick layer of neglect. They dreamt of their creation soaring to great heights, but when you examine the numbers, it becomes apparent that the majority of their fan base remained unconvinced and disinterested in this new undertaking. The H3 podcast amassed a modest 1.5 million subscribers, while their main channel boasted well over 6 million. Even their secondary channel attracted a larger following, exceeding 2 million subscribers. It was evident that people simply didn't embrace the podcast, plain and simple. The Kleins possessed a blend of intellectual goofiness, delighting in mocking political correctness and fearlessly criticizing those who deserved it. Though they appeared to lean toward liberalism, they held liberals to rational standards rather than shielding them from scrutiny. They had zero tolerance for extreme instances of political correctness, using their distinctive brand of internet-age humor to expose such cases. However, with the advent of the podcast, Ethan's political views took a peculiar turn. Inviting Jordan Peterson onto his show was a significant statement, regardless of one's personal opinion of the controversial figure. It was as if Ethan drew a line in the sand, separating his career into a before and after Peterson era. The podcast never really resonated with the fans. What they truly yearned for was Ethan and Hila to continue with the things they excelled at. But it appeared that the Kleins had grown weary of that content. They desired a shift, akin to their friend George Miller's transformation from Filthy Frank to Joji. However, unlike Miller's seamless transition from one remarkable endeavor to another, the Kleins' transition was from good to bad, straightforwardly put. Their community certainly did not sign up for that. They didn't crave the Kleins engaging in discussions with political pundits or clashing with Bill Burr. The tipping point arrived when they unveiled their inaugural official game, Ball Rider, a mobile game. As recent examples like Diablo Immortal and Alien Blackout illustrated, creating mobile games is a surefire way to invite disdain from the masses. This marked the juncture when their once devoted fanbase turned against them, criticizing their failure and their disregard for what their fans truly desired. Their supporters didn't desire yet another mindless mobile game, and they certainly didn't want to witness Ethan and Hila engaging in lengthy conversations with an individual they couldn't care less about. They yearned for H3H3, nothing more, nothing less. As we reach the final act of this gripping tale, dear viewers, the future of H3H3 Productions hangs in the balance. What lies ahead for H3H3 Productions? Will they reclaim their comedic crown and rise above the ashes of their tragic downfall, or will they succumb to the weight of negativity and fade into obscurity?